Hey everyone, it's Eric Silvermoon. Happy Saturday. I wanted to make this video, well, this live Google Hangout. Of course, like I always do, I never tell people I'm doing a live Google Hangout. For me to do like a screen share, this is the best platform to do so. So, you know, as any live thing, all kinds of stuff possibly could happen, mess up, swearing, people could walk in, I don't know. That's the beauty of the live thing. So my really good friend, well, dear friend, I think on the internet world community, Athena Black, was asking me about the pages that I've been doing for my book of shadows. And I told her that she was kind of interested in the thought process and how to like put stuff together and be really creative about it. And I thought, you know what, it'll be really cool to show how to create one and the way that I do it. You know, everyone's creative in their own ways. Everyone has a different aesthetic and a different eye to detail and an artistic eye. And so I wanted to show you guys my way of creating like that Book of Shadows kind of look for my book. So most of you guys already saw my video. This monster here is my Book of Shadows and Light. It's huge. And I've recently created some of the pages for the goddess and god aspect. And so I have Kuan Yin, Mary, Ganesha, I have Apollo, and then Aphrodite. So these are the main, well, not the main ones, besides, you know, the three aspects of the goddess Morgan. But those are the ones that I work with. And this year I'm delving more into the god energy, that masculine energy. So I'm working a lot more with Apollo and Ganesha at this time. So that's a different conversation, different video. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and screen share the Picmonkey.com. It's my all-time favorite photo editor. I use it for all kinds of stuff, for graphics, for memes, and so I'm going to show you how I do it with the for my Book of Shadows. And what I'm going to be doing today is a spirit board page for my divination part of my Book of Shadows. So this here it's such a cool postcard. Like, I love it. It's a spirit board postcard given to me by the beautiful Joanna DeLow on Sawin. And I just love it. I love the colors. I love the masculine and feminine, the death and life aspect of it. I love it. And so I want to use it as the centerpiece of my Book of Shadows, well, as the cover part or the focal point of that page. And so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and create it with that being inspired. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to screen share the page, so you won't see me, but you'll be able to hear me. I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and hopefully you guys can see it. Okay, so I'm going to go to, okay, so now you can see my little happy mouse. So this is Picmonkey.com. It's free for the most part. I highly recommend paying for the year thing. I want to say that it's $30. But don't quote me on it. But it unlocks different features. It really allows you to customize more, use different fonts, all kinds of stuff. So you have edit your photos, touch up photos, design your photos, a collage kind of put together. Like if I click collage, it tells you like to add items. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go to design. And I already know that the size I need, and it's 8 by 10. You can use whatever size is going to be best for you, whatever book you're going to use. I go by the 8 by 10 because it's the largest for me. And then when I resize it in a Word document, when I print it, I already know the size that I want to use for that. So I'm going to go with the 8 by 10. And then I'm also going to go with the white. So I'm going to go ahead and apply the white. And you could do all different color canvases. You could change it, whatever you want to work with, but I go to white because that's not really what I'm going to use. So what I'm going to use is textures. So you have different things here that you could use, and so I'm going to go to textures, and again, so many different varieties. I love the Papyrus Textures. And the one that I love that you'll see in my Book of Shadows is this one here. It gives it this nice grainy, kind of weathered leather kind of feel. And when I go here where it says fade, you could fade it, but I actually want it intense. So I want it really rich and dark, and so I'm going to apply that. And so this will be my page for that I like using. And the next thing I do is that you could either go to here to overlays, and it gives you so many different things to use. Like I'll show you right here. So if you go to Victorian labels, these are the ones that you could use. But if you pay to unlock the rest of the thing, it gives you all these great ones. So again, I recommend it. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and create the place for the card. So I want to actually glue down the card here. So I want to create these little corners. And I kind of eyeballed it using another page, and so I kind of know exactly where I'm going to put them. So on, what is this? Oh, overlays or layouts? Overlays. I'm going to look for the ones with the corners here. And then they have some really great corners that you could use. I think I like this one for my corners for this page. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink it down a bit as so, and I'm going to put it like right there. And then I'm going to right click my mouse to duplicate it. And I'm going to go ahead and shift it, because if you put a new one, then you have to really adjust it again. And if you duplicate it, it keeps the alterations that you did with the size correct, and it just you're able to manipulate it that way. And I'm going to align it as close as that as possible, and then maybe I might do it closer here. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and right click this and duplicate it, and then just change the direction. And I want to say that it's going to be about right here. And then right click, duplicate, and then reverse the image. And I think right there's good. Okay, and so that will be where I'm going to glue down the card. And the next thing I want to do is go to text. And this is the one I use for my Book of Shadows, but look at the amount. Whatever has a crown means you have that, you unlock that when you purchase it. But everything that doesn't is free. But it gives you a huge variety of different texts, and I love it. But black letters is what I use. And I love centering it. And the font that I want for the top is 150. And then I'll write down what it is. Spirit board. And I'm going to move it here. And if you drag these out, because I love things to be centered and perfect, if I do this and do it here too, it centers it for me, which is fantastic. So I know that it's right where it needs to be. So I have spirit board there. And then I'm going to go back and add text, because I wrote a poem about the spirit board, and so I want to put that in there. So I'm going to center it, and for this one I'm going to do 60 font, and I'm going to type it, and then I'll read what it says if you can't read it. So it's divine spirits, guardians of the veil. And here's the thing with this, that if you, I'm a horrible speller, and so if I misspell this doesn't have spell check, so you have to be careful. You want to make sure that you have the correct spelling, but if it's not correct, it's okay. And it's part the mist that is there. And I have allow my pendulum, hopefully that spells right, to connect with the board. And then where the language of magic is stored. And I'm going to go ahead and keep typing. I want to make sure I can read my own writing where I wrote it very quickly. Okay, guide my hand to the sacred number or letter, for I trust that all is for the better. Swing and sway, whichever way. The spirits of the board shall say. So I'm going to go ahead and click out so I could drag this here and stretch it out so it fits kind of nicely. And again, I want it centered here. And I'm going to move this here. So if you can't read it because the screen's small, I put divine spirits, guardians of the veil, part the mist that is there. Allow my pendulum to connect with the board where the language of magic is stored. Guide my hand to the sacred number or letter, for I trust that all is for the better. Swing and sway whichever way the spirits of the board shall say. And I love that. I feel like I was a bard in a previous life. And so what I want to do now is to go with the theme of that postcard that Jonah DeVoe gave me. It has a really cool floral feel to it. So I'm going to go back to overlays. And I'm going to scroll down to like these vintage blossoms right here. And oh, I love these vintage blossoms. They're so pretty. I'm going to make it big so you can see it. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. And so I want one in each side, but I don't want it to be so colorful and bright because I want it to look distressed. And so I'm going to go about right there. And I'm going to go ahead, or actually right there. And then I'm going to go here and change it. So you could go to add, darken, different, and it gives it different textures to it. I like to do overlay because it distresses it and it makes it very faint, and then it puts it behind the letters, which I like. So I'm going to go ahead and right click this and duplicate it, and then do a mirror image flip so that I could center it on this side here and kind of match it to where I have it. I'm going to say that that looks about right. And then I want something up here, so I'm going to go with these little pretty ones. Aren't those beautiful? Oh, did I double click on one? I think I did. So I'm going to go ahead and make it a little bit larger. And I'm going to flip it like that. And I want it like right there. So then I'm going to go ahead and do the overlay with it. And then right click, duplicate, mirror image, and move it on this side here. Oh, you know what it did? It like flipped it because I need it this way. Okay, and that's what I want it to look like. So if you could picture the postcard being here, then it's going to really complete it. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And once you save it, it saves it as an image. So you can't, I'm going to put spirit board. So if you save it and then you close out of Picmonkey, you can't go back and edit it because it's going to save it as an image. So you want to make sure that it's perfect the way that you want it. And then I'm just going to go to my desktop and then save it. And that is how I create it. And then once you do that, you could keep adding different things to it. I like adding different images. Let's see if I could just, for fun, let's add like the Virgin Mary, because I create some pages. So it comes out like that. And And if you, let's say that I want to delete this blue, you go to erase and go here, and then you want to drag the eraser hardness, because if you go really hard, it's going to be like a clean erase, and I don't want that. I want it to be very Barbara Walters, very soft, and so I'll just do it very quickly just so that you can see. And like it barely like erases it very softly. I'm going to do the same just on the corner so it's not so edgy. Okay, and so go back to basics, and if we do that overlay, you'll see what it does. Boop. You go to like overlay and make it very faint, or that screen. If you do overlay, then it kind of just makes it very faint and pretty. You could go to multiple and it darkens it a little bit, so you could actually make it big and do something really cool. So you can really get crazy and allow your creativity to just kind of take over. So I just kind of wanted to share that of how I kind of do my pages. And I know that I battled with myself a little bit about, you know, I'm not really putting my handwritten art in it just yet. But I mean, it's still allowing me to be creative, be artistic, and do something really cool and special. So that's how that is. And so I'm going to go back and the screen share, and hopefully that went okay. Hopefully that went okay. I always feel really nervous when I do the live ones because I don't know if I'm screen sharing. So hopefully that went well. But yeah, so I love that. And if you can imagine this in the center, and I'll probably post a picture later on Facebook. I have to go to my office and print it out. But it's really cool. You can do a lot with it and distress the pages and add different images into it and really make it your own. You could do it with pictures of yourself and put yourself in the images. I'll show you a collage, and it's going to be intense because I said I'm working with the God energy and I'm working with the masculine energy and what that means to me. So I made a collage of like different images of things that feel masculine to me. And I'm working with Apollo. So Apollo to me is just the ideal masculine form and what that represents. He's soft and feminine but hard. You know, it's just a will balance. And so I warn you because it's not very PG. There's some sexual images, and so sorry. So I'm warning you, but I did a collage using Picmonkey if you could see it. And yes, there's a penis in there and there's different things, but and there's some of my own artwork, but this is what I need to collect. So this is my masculinity vision board. So I look at it and really empowers me, allows me to tap into that lion energy that I have within myself, being Leo, and it really wakes up something in me, and it's just fantastic. So you could do stuff like that and print it out and put it in there. Again, the glue that I use is Aztec Crafters Tape Permanent. It's fantastic. It's so fantastic that you have to be careful because once the page is on there, then it kind of sticks very good. I mean, you can still peel it, but most likely you're going to wrinkle your paper or probably rip it in the process of trying to take it apart. So just be very careful, be patient. It's definitely something you don't want to rush into it because it needs your, it needs that patience and that meditative energy that you do when you're working in your Book of Shadows. It doesn't want to feel rushed. You know, you want to make sure you're being very mindful that this is a meditative process. You're really putting a piece of you, something that documents your past, something that documents what you believe in that moment. Who's to say that 4 years from now or a year from now, this book no longer resonates with me, I move on, but at least I have something to remind me of where I was, what I was getting inspiration from in 2016 and what really grabbed my attention. So it could be just like a volume of a long length of different books of shadows that are out there for me. So it's really cool. And again, I encourage you to try Picmonkey. You don't have to be an artist. You don't have to know how to draw. You can put different pictures together. Challenge yourself to be creative. Express yourself in whatever that looks like, whatever that feels like. Just do it. It's so much fun. I have a blast. I'll put music on, make it special, have a glass of wine. It's really cool. I love it. And so I wanted to leave you guys with just how to use social media or whatever you want to call it, to really add some kind of new art pop into your Book of Shadows and practice. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate all those that watch. So blessed be. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you guys next Saturday. Bye.